Across vast farmlands, cassava matures underground, preparing for large-scale starch production worldwide today.
Human labor complements machines, ensuring cassava roots remain intact and undamaged for processing.
We need to reject this batch because of the pest damage.
See the dark spots? That's unacceptable.
I understand. We'll sort them now.
Transportation begins instantly, moving cassava roots toward processing facilities without delay. From soil to industry, cassava now enters the massive starch processing pipeline.
Fresh cassava moves rapidly from farms, preserving starch quality during tightly controlled transportation schedules.
Siga adelante, por favor.
Próximo camión, a la izquierda, rápido.
Initial inspections confirm cassava freshness and starch potential before processing begins.
Look at the moisture, it's way too high.
Starch is low too. We have to reject this batch.
Sorting zones separate damaged, woody, or over-aged roots. Conveyor belts move acceptable cassava forward.
Automated unloading transfers cassava gently, preventing damage before washing and peeling stages.
Cassava roots move into temporary holding areas designed for short-term storage.
With cassava secured, the factory prepares for intensive washing, peeling, and size reduction.
High-pressure washing removes soil completely, protecting cassava starch purity from the very first factory stage.
Washed cassava enters stone and grit removal channels. Gravity separators and vibrating screens trap.
Automated inspection guarantees evenly peeled cassava for consistent starch recovery. Dust control systems protect workers and maintain hygienic cassava starch processing environments.
Prepared cassava pulp now advances toward starch extraction and separation stages.
Grinding converts cassava flesh into wet pulp, unlocking starch trapped inside plant cells.
Water injectors activate along the pulp line. Controlled volumes of clean water mix with ground cassava.
Centrifugal force separates cassava starch efficiently, replacing slow manual extraction methods.
Multiple separation stages refine the slurry further. Each pass improves starch purity by removing remaining impurities.
Raw starch milk forms, representing cassava's extracted value, ready for refining.
Separation is holding steady.
Data confirms optimal consistency. We are cleared for continued processing.
Cassava starch extraction concludes, as purified starch milk advances to refining systems. Multi-stage washing cleans cassava starch milk, removing residual impurities with precision.
Fine impurities separate as washing intensifies. Lightweight particles drift away while dense starch granules.
Hydrocyclone clusters activate next. Conical chambers spin the starch slurry rapidly, forcing.
Repeated hydrocyclone stages steadily increase cassava starch purity and uniformity. Moisture control ensures cassava starch consistency before final drying stages.
Looks good. Optimal viscosity confirmed.
Agreed. I'll log the results.
Refined slurry flows smoothly through enclosed pipelines. Minimal impurities remain, signaling successful dewatering.
Refining and dewatering complete, cassava starch is prepared for drying and finishing.
Flash drying rapidly removes moisture, transforming cassava starch slurry into dry particles.
In spray drying chambers, spinning nozzles disperse starch slurry into microscopic droplets. Heat envelops.
Moisture evaporates instantly on contact with hot air. Sensors monitor outlet humidity to prevent overdrying.
Cyclone collectors recover dry cassava starch efficiently from drying air streams.
Automated particle control guarantees uniform cassava starch texture and performance.
Look, it passed the test.
Excellent. We can log this batch as compliant.
Cassava starch drying concludes, producing fine powder ready for packaging and distribution.
Sealing units close bags using heat or stitching. Each seal locks out air and moisture, preserving starch quality during storage.
Labeling and batch coding ensure traceability across cassava starch supply chains. Wrapped pallets safeguard cassava starch during handling and long-distance logistics.
Inventory systems track pallet locations digitally. Real-time data prevents delays and stock errors.
Packaged cassava starch rests securely, awaiting dispatch to global markets.
Inventory systems coordinate cassava starch flow from storage to global customers.
Everything is accurate and verified digitally.
Perfect. Cleared for international shipment.
Balanced container loading ensures cassava starch arrives intact after global shipping. We track your cargo in real time, whether by rail or road, ensuring seamless movement from origin to port arrival.
Starch supports food thickening, textile sizing, paper coating, and pharmaceuticals.
Global ports connect cassava starch producers with international industrial buyers. Factories and food processors incorporate cassava starch into final products.
Its purity ensures consistent performance.
Retail grade starch, proudly a product of North America. Look for the premium grade seal.
From cassava farms to global markets, starch production fuels modern economies worldwide.